The Joe Rogan Experience.
We can argue what the government should or should not do, but I don't think we can allow a handful of people with incredible wealth to control both parties.
Well, it's dangerous.
It is.
It's very dangerous, and I mean, no one the founding fathers of this country never saw that coming.
That's
you know,
right.
they made this incredible system of checks and balances.
You got it.
But who could have ever possibly saw that coming?
And what I worry about Trump is, you're right. I read, it is astounding back in the 1780s when these guys wrote the Constitution, how perceptive they were.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, they said...
Their understanding of human desires and the power and
exactly.
all the corruption.
Exactly.
Pretty amazing.
And they wrote that having just fought a war and won a war against the most powerful despot on earth, the King of England, right?
Right.
And I think in the back of their minds were saying, all right, we just beat the King of England, absolute power. How do you create a new country which has checks and balances so that nobody ever has that power
Right.
again? And I got to say, I mean, one of the things, and there was a lot of arguments about Trump, that worries me very, very much is this movement toward authoritarianism and going after media, suing media, taking away the authority that Congress has.
When you say suing media, are you talking about the CBS lawsuit?
Among other things. He has,
Right, but don't you think there's a real issue with what they did?
No. In this
You
sense,
don't think that there's a real issue in
look,
editing conversations to give
right.
someone an answer
Joe,
that's
I've been
different
on-
than what they really answered?
Joe, I've been on 8 zillion shows, right? In my life.
Okay.
Okay. Now, should I sue you if you ask me some stupid question that I don't like, right? Or that you do something? Do I have a right? Should I sue you?
Yeah, but that's not what he's
Well, he has
suing them for.
sued. He has sued ABC.
Mm-hmm.
He has sued Meta. He is suing the Des Moines Register because of a poll that came out during the campaign that he didn't like. All right. He is suing CBS for this Kamala Harris interview. So do I think how many? I cannot tell you the number of stories done about me that were not good stories.
Right.
That were dishonest stories. That's what a free press is about. You don't like it, you got to live with it. All right? You do something, I'm not going to sue you, Joe.
Right, but it's not that simple, right? Like, let's not talk about Trump, but let's talk about another candidate. Let's just imagine there's someone on the right and someone on the left, and there's a concerted effort to promote this person that's on the right. And so the polls are rigged, or these are funded polls that make it look like this person on the right is winning by a substantial margin, and what this does is decreases the motivation that people have to come out and vote against them.
That's happening.
So it's fake.
By the way, that
And
happens right now.
It is happening right now. And I think, is that part of what he's suing them about?
No, but doesn't look.
But isn't that what he's suing them about?
Well, he's suing ABC for one thing.
But with the Des Moines Register about the poll.
Yeah, I know the pollster there.
Was the poll incorrect?
Yeah, the poll was wrong. So what? Guess
Right.
what?
But what did they know it was incorrect when they published it?
No, they published what they thought was an accurate poll. But that pollster, by the way, what's the name? Seltzer polls.
I should just state for the record, I don't know this lawsuit. But
Right, what it was about.
But I am aware that in talking to people that understand polls, that some of these are politically.
All right, but the answer is yes and no. There are polls right now doing exactly what you say.
Right.
I could doctor a poll. I could talk to more conservative, more progressive people, get the results that I kind of want, right?
And they do it to motivate people or demotivate people to vote,
That's
and it's
right.
effective.
It has an impact. All right. On the other hand, this particular pollster, it's the Des Moines Register, not a huge newspaper. I bumped into them because when you're running Democratic primaries, Iowa is a big deal. They are a very, very respected pollster. Okay, they don't doctor polls. So they made a mistake on a poll. It turns out they had Trump doing worse than he ended up doing. Guess what? Pollsters, honest pollsters, make mistakes too.
But what is the basis of his lawsuit? Like, what is he saying in the lawsuit?
I think he is saying that gave energy to his opponents and that it was he's
like
saying,
we talked about.
Like you talked
Yeah.
about. But I don't believe that's the case. There are honest pollsters who make mistakes.
But what about the other the other lawsuit
Well,
with the conversation that they had with Kamala Harris, where they edited the answers that she had to make it look more precise?
60 Minutes, they were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Is, to my mind, historically, been around for a very long time. they're not infallible. But I think you look at most objective people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative journalism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers.
All
If
right.
you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
All right, Joe, then you're walking down. You're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you, all right, let me finish. All right,
Okay.
somebody sues you. Why not you? You could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this. You're too sympathetic to this.
Right.
And Joe, you did that, and they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make this deceptive editing.
Joe,
So in deceptive editing,
I don't
you
know,
give
and
people a different perception of who this
Yeah, I
candidate
understand
is
that.
than reality.
All right, but you
that's
gotta
not
explain-
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but-
that's campaigning for that
All
person.
right, but
Would you agree with that?
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with your analysis of it. I don't know enough.
I
but,
think that's universally accepted that
well,
that's what they did.
Then you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why he's suing Meta.
let's just talk about the 60 Minutes
No,
one
but
first.
but it's not
we
just
could
60.
go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that
Well,
one
as
either.
George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like. But the point is,
What did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't remember. It was I honestly don't remember. But
Well, I think what he was saying was factually incorrect about the results of one of Trump's trials.
all right, guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, I'd be suing people zillions of times. But Joe, what you're saying is, look, does media get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Should you have the most powerful person in America suing media? What is the impact of that? The impact is clearly intimidation. He wants to defund public broadcasting, NPR. Why is that? Well, because they also would run critical stories of him. This is part, in my view, without getting into any one case, it's part of a pattern that says, hey, I got the power. Don't you criticize me. You criticize me, I'm going to sue you. So it's not whether this show was right or wrong. There are shows every day they get it wrong. It's whether you respect you and other media people to do the best that you can. And if I don't like what you're doing, I'll go someplace else. But I don't like presidents suing media, and then it's, threatening to impeach judges who rule against you. Really? Is that a concern? I think it's a concern.
I agree, that's a concern. Well, my concern is when you have media organizations that are purported to be objective, and then they say things that are defamatory and factually incorrect, and they should know that before they say it. What other course does a person have other than a lawsuit? And isn't it important that you shine the light on what is a political bias
Then the way
where from an organization that you would hope would be objective?
Needless to say, I get attacked all the time by right-wing media, right? Every day.
Needless to say.
Needless to say, all right. I don't sue them. So you expose
but they
him.
don't
Then he's
say-
the president of the United
But do
States.
they say things factually incorrect
Fine, then
that
he
are
can get up there.
defamatory and slanderous?
If there's anybody in the world who knows how to use a microphone, his name is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump can get up. You saw that program on CBS the other day? It was crap. It was wrong. And let me tell you why
Right.
it was wrong.
But then they do it again and again and again.
Then you take them on, and
The
you keep-
problem is the more people do stuff like that, if you don't have any consequences to what you're doing, you're going to continue that path. And the most people only see that. They're not like if you're a left-wing leaning media organization and you print something that's factually incorrect or you say something on television that's factually incorrect, your viewers who are left-leaning are most likely not going to see Trump's rebuttal in some speech that he does in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Right, but that's another problem, and that is, our media is becoming very divided.
Exactly.
Okay, but all I would say is,
So you don't think that lawsuits against that are valid?
I don't think that it is appropriate for the President of the United States to be, in my view, intimidating media. Again, I get attacked. I'll be attacked tomorrow for probably things I've said on the show. I'll get attacked. then if I want to respond, I respond. I have not a president's bullet. I have a bullet. I say, you see that thing on Fox? They're wrong. And I've done that. But when Joe, you got to take it another way. I'll give you an example about CBS. We talked about corporate power. The owners of CBS is owned by Paramount, big multimedia corporation, right?
Sure.
Paramount wants to sell, wants to be sold to, what is it, Blue Sky? Does that ring a bell?
Blue Sky's that social media app.
No, then it's another one. I'm sorry. It's I always forget the name of it. Skydance. Thanks. Skydance is a large media corporation that Paramount wants to have buy.
Okay.
To get this merger, huge merger, they have to go, guess what, to the federal government. All right? So you are the head of CBS. You want to sell the company to Skydance for many, many billions. Do you remember what was the sale? I don't see it. It's billions of dollars, to be sure. And you got to go to the federal government. And the president sues you. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to settle the lawsuit, give him millions of dollars, and get your merger approved. All right. So look,
I see a problem in that.
All right, and
sure.
I see where you're coming from. We want honesty in media, but all I can tell you is that the way to respond to the lies, which take place every day, is to take them on, not to intimidate media. You know, we talked about the Constitution. What's the First Amendment? Is freedom of speech, right?
Right.
You're right. You're
Yes.
sitting here. You disagree with me. God bless you. Say what the hell you want to
Right.
say. All right. I'll never take that away from you.
Right.
And I'm not going to threaten you with a lawsuit. But if you start suing people, hey, Joe Rogan said this. No. Joe Rogan has this. We found out about Joe Rogan. I'm going to sue Joe Rogan for $100 million. Joe may not talk about those issues in the future. Okay? That's what I'm saying, Joe.
No, I agree with you. And listen, I'm not a fan of lawsuits either, which is why I never sued CNN.
I've never done.
CNN lied about me over and over and over again. And they said I was taking horse dewormer, and they altered the color of my face on television to make me look green.
I can testify, yay, green.
I didn't sue them. I'm not a fan of. My response to them was just speak out and say how ridiculous
That's
it was
what I'm
what they were
saying.
doing.
Look, Joe, anybody in the public eye, you're in the public eye, I'm in the public eye. You're going to get attacked every day, right?
Yes.
All right. That's what, you're in the public eye. You don't want to be in the public eye, put down the microphone.
Agreed.
Play pool, whatever you want to do.
I agree with you.
All right. So, I mean, I just worry.
But I also agree that CBS shouldn't be altering a presidential candidate's interview.
I agree too. I mean, I don't know enough about it, so I'm not going to say what isn't. Okay. All I know is that 60 Minutes is a well-respected program. Do they make mistakes? I'm
But
sure
that's not a mistake.
All right. I don't know enough about it, so I can't.
I understand.
All right. What else you got for me? I should get a plane and get out of here.
You probably should. I mean, I appreciate your positions on all these different things.
And I appreciate, by the way, one of the, we talked about media and the bifurcation of media. Right-wing people talk to right-wing people, left-wing people talk to left-wing people. I happen to think that the development of podcasts is a really positive step. Because I can tell you, I've been on a million TV shows. All right, Bernie, literally you got 7 seconds to explain the issue. Well, I can't explain it.
It's impossible.
Nobody can.
Yeah.
And the fact that you give people a couple of hours to sit here and have a good discussion and be a good host and trade ideas, I think that improves life in America and helps people think about things. So thank you for what you're doing.